Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Developer Minded SEO. In today's video, I'm going to take you through how to integrate your Google Analytics account with Google Tag Manager. Okay, you can ask me why I need to um, install my Google Analytics code via Google Tag Manager. So whenever you are adding extra analytical tracking code to track the performance of the website directly on the source code of your page that goes on your header section. So whenever you keep adding analytical tracking code on header section, this definitely going to impact the page speed of the website. So whenever you are going to add the analytical tracking code, make sure you track via Google Tag Manager. So you can have only one analytical tracking code, which is Google Tag Manager tracking code on your website. Remaining all other tracking codes, that means Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics or Hotjar, any other things that you are going to track your performance of the website, that could be added via Google Tag Manager. So, if you are new to this channel, I'm Ish, search engine marketer, helping small businesses and organizations building their website and promoting it to the right people at right time organically. So, if you need more videos about technical SEO, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's get into the video.
So how to set up Google Analytics to Google Tag Manager. So to do the setup process, first initially you need Google Tag Manager installation code installed on your head and body section of your website. So if you need to help in installing the Google Tag Manager account, then please let me know in the comment section. I can make a video on how to install Google Tag Manager tracking code on your website. So the next step, you need to have Universal Analytics Tracking Code ID. So if you add the website on Google Analytics account, it will give you the tracking ID which is necessary to implement on the source code of the website. So this is the HTML code which we need to implement on the source code of the website, but we are going to set up using the Google Tag Manager account. So we need only the tracking ID. So for this process, you need to set up the Google Tag Manager tracking code on your website. So moving on to the Google Tag Manager, you have three options which need to be set up for start tracking the code. So that is the tag, trigger, and variable. So these are the basic things which you need to set up on your Google Tag Manager account. Here the tag is Google Analytics Universal Analytics Tracking, and the variable is a built-in variable which is the Google Analytics settings. Here I have given my Google Analytics Tracking ID. And the trigger, you need to set up the trigger as all pages. So whenever any of my pages is clicked, so it need to trigger the tag, and the tag will send the information to the Google Analytics account. So let's see the demo.
And here is my website developermindedseo.com, and you can find the Google Tag Manager tracking code as already installed on my website. So I didn't have Google Analytics tracking code on my website. So here you need to set up a Google Analytics account, giving your website details, and you can find your Google Analytics ID on admin. Under property, you can find the tracking code. So this is the tracking code of my Google Analytics account. So this is the tracking code which needs to be needed and added to the Google Tag Manager. Once it is done, then everything is done. That is, your analytic account is linked to your Google Tag Manager account. So here I have already created my Google Tag Manager, using my account. So I have already set up Google Analytics tracking code on my website. So for the sake of this video, I am creating a dummy one. So I'm going to create add new tag. So here I need to give the name of the tag. So universal Google Analytics tag. So here is the tag configuration, and the first one is the Google Universal Analytics tracking code. So the track type is page view, yes, and you need to set up the variable. So here already I have used Google Analytics settings here in my previous uh, user ID. So I have so if you don't have this, you need to initially go to new variable, and the variable type is Google Analytics settings, and the tracking ID here you need to paste your tracking ID, which is this. So and you need to save it. So here I'm not going to do that because I have already have my Google Analytics variable saved. So I am using that. So if you don't want to use any of the analytical tracking code installed before, you need to set it as enable overriding setting in this tag, and you need to give your tracking code here. So what you are telling is don't need to follow this tracking code. So you can override the tracking code by the given tracking information. So here I'm not doing that. I'm going to set up my Google Analytical tracking code via the variable. So I have given the Google Analytics settings as my variable, and here you need to set up your tag firing option once per page, and the next part is triggering. So for triggering, you need to give all pages page view. The type is page view, so you need to give basically you need to give this, and you need to save the tracking code. That's it. Your tracking code will be integrated with the Google Tag Manager account. So now I'm not going to do this because I have already installed my tracking Google Analytics tracking code on my Google Analytics account. Sorry, Google Analytics tracking code on my Google Tag Manager account. So you can see my tag. So Google Analytics all pages. So we can also test whether this tag is implemented rightly or wrong using a Google extension called Tag Assistant Legacy. So by clicking on this, you need to record and reload your website. So now you can see what are the tracking code installed on your website. It's showing fine. You have Google Tag Manager tracking code on your website, and which is green icon. And here the Google Analytics is showing as a blue icon. The reason is uh, in this website there is no tracking code, Google Analytics tracking code found on the source code of the website, but it is indirectly connected through Google Tag Manager. So if it is the case, if you see the blue icon, the tracking code may not work properly, but in my case, it is working properly. The only reason is the tracking code is not directly found on the back end of the website, that is in the source code of the website. So this is the reason why I'm getting the blue icon here, and you can also view page view request. So this is showing non-standard implementation. So the tracking code is not seen on my website. You can see the full report. So this is the Google Tag Assistant record 1 pages and 2 hits. We noticed one Google Analytics account that is integrated on Google Tag Manager. This is the Google Analytics account, and you can also see the Google Analytics report. So as I hit the page after starting the record, so it records as a 1 page load. It records the browser information and it records the acquisition type. It is the direct one. So the landing page is my home page. The session is showing. So session start here, the main page. So these are the information you can get from the Google Analytics report. So that's it.